Alright guys, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you a live sales call of a $15,000 client I closed completely upfront inside of my AI agency, and I'm going to be reacting to the whole sales call live with you guys as this was closed by someone from my team, my closer Jacob. And the whole call this is a very recent call. I think it was about 2-ish weeks ago, so very recent, and closed the full entire amount upfront. And from what he told me, there's a lot of objections and hard kind of conversations he had to overcome throughout this whole sales call. So I think it's going to be super valuable as you guys listen to how we handle objections, and more importantly, how the whole call is conducted. Because I think a lot of people on YouTube, they talk about sales skills and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, they don't actually show you it. And there's a lot of training I've had to do with Jacob. There's a lot of things I've had to do to make sure he's up to the point where he is today. And the big key point here is we do about $180,000 ish a month in our agency, work with stem cell clinics. So I work primarily with literally clinics that offer stem cell treatments in the medical space. I don't work with anyone else, and I do a 2-call close. So I have my setter, his name is Ethan, take the intro call. So if you're not familiar with the whole sales process, you can do a 1-call close or a 2-call close. My setter, Ethan, takes the intro call. It's a 15-minute call just to qualify the person, just to make sure they're actually a fit. And then Jacob, my closer, takes the second call and actually closes the deal live. So with that being said, let's jump into this video, as it's going to be kind of like a live reaction for me too. I'm going to give some pointers around what I think he did well, what I think he could have done better, and just overall feedback on my end. So with that being said, let's jump into it.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me all right?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Well, yesterday
Okay.
it took a little long for you to get home, so I guess we couldn't get everything going then and there. But I mean, Ethan told me, just so I can kind of review these notes here. Give me 1 second. He told me a little bit about your situation. He kind of left me some notes. So he said you're doing an aesthetic practice. You have like a med spa going on, and you're looking to add wellness, IV therapy, and that kind of stuff. You were at 120K a month a couple of years ago, and it's kind of dropped to like that $30,000 a month range. I mean,
Yeah.
how long has that been going on for? Like that you've been at that like 30,000 a month mark?
Last year was really rough. Last year.
Mhm.
I guess because of the government shutdown, and I mean, I'm blaming it on that. But basically, I think that's the major part of it. But then I've been doing this for over 15 years right here.
Mhm.
So I think my patients are getting older
Mhm.
and they're kind of dropping off, aesthetics. So
Right. Okay.
I'm thinking maybe it's time to add something a little bit more exciting.
Okay. Sure. Makes sense. I mean, with what you were saying, like the government drop off, and then the patients kind of like getting a little older. I mean, you're at 30,000 a month right now, correct?
Yeah.
Like that specific range, how long has that been going on for, where you've been at 30,000 a month?
Let's say in the past 4 months.
Last 4 months. Okay. And has it been like a slow drop off, or was it something that just happened really quick?
It was a slow drop off.
Okay. So
It was a
like
slow-
roughly 2 years ago, we were at that 120K, and then it eventually got down.
So as you guys can see right here, Jacob is pretty much just opening the pain wound in this person pretty much on, okay, you were doing 4x what you were currently doing now. How did this happen? Why did this happen? He's going to go into that. This is exactly what's happening right
To
now.
the 30K over the span of like 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, how's that like affecting the business in like any way, if there is?
Of course, it affects the business in every way
Of
because
course.
we have to pay the staff, we have to pay, we
Mm.
have to, pay the rent, we have to purchase products and things like that.
Okay. I mean, like for you specifically, like how's it affecting you though?
Me,
Yeah.
so I,
Good question.
so I had to take another assignment.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm family medicine by trade, so
Mhm.
I can do locums, I can do, contracts, things like that. So as for me, I can still make a paycheck,
Mhm.
but my staff, it's, because I mean, they're very passionate as well as me about the business.
Mhm.
So I want to they don't want to see it go down.
Okay.
So I kind of use
Like,
yeah.
it's on the trajectory to go down.
I mean, what I'm saying is they don't want me to shut the practice down.
Of course, like, you didn't get into business to shut it down.
Exactly.
For sure. I mean, so like with the right systems in place and like the marketing, realistically, how much would you be wanting to make from your clinic?
Realistically, I want to go up to where I was what I was doing before.
Okay, so
Um,
what you were doing before, is that like just a humble goal because that's where you've been before and that's what you can achieve? Or like, is there a
yeah.
higher goal you want to reach as well?
There's no limit to the goal that I want, but I want to be realistic.
Of course.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, anywhere from there to 150.
Right. The reason why I ask is because when we're looking at big goals, right? Say you were to want to go to 250,000 and you have that in mind, and you're pushing and you're putting in all the efforts for 250,000, the chances of you reaching your humble goal, getting back to like 100, 120,000 is much more realistic. Because even if you miss the 250, you put in the efforts to get there, and the chances are you're going to hit that 120, right? For sure. So, I mean, in terms of, with the current marketing systems you have in place, what does that actually look like?
The market. Okay, so I do the Google ads, and I have a marketing company that I work with. It's called Growth 99. I don't know if you know them. Growth 99. Okay, so they help me. They help me with the marketing. They help me with the Google ad, the SEOs, and all that. We do some Facebook marketing and Instagram marketing, and then we do some in-house. We do events, things like that.
Okay.
So what Jacob's going to see here, and I'm pretty sure this is what he's going to do. He's going to see that right there as a complete red flag. Like, she's already working with another company. If she doesn't think we're going to be better than them, she's obviously not going to go with us. And even if we do seem a little bit better, she's probably still not going to go with the whole switch, because she knows what she's currently doing is at least getting by. You know, like, I might be speaking too early here, maybe it's not, but that right there is a perfect recipe of what Jacob's future casting for a big objection towards the end of the call that he has to handle right now, or else once he drops price later, it's going to be a complete problem around competitors and whatnot.
Oh, and I can tell you, yeah, I think I missed the point. So when we're doing the 120K, I was also, I have my own private practice.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I was seeing patients as well.
Okay.
So I have 2 days to see the patients, 3 days to do medical, and then 2 days to do aesthetics. So that could also contribute to the drop off.
Right. Okay. And with what you're doing now, specifically, like with these companies and everything, like, what would you change, like, in terms of like the lead quality or you know, how the actual process is working to actually get those leads? Like, what would you change to make it better?
What I would change is, so what happens is when we get the leads, we have to now follow up. We have to go ahead and call the leads. And then sometimes
are they not doing that for you?
No, we have to call the leads. We have to follow up. And with the staff, they could be busy doing other things in the office. So sometimes it drops off. So there's really no follow up, if that makes sense. I mean, they can do but so much. Once they call the patient once, twice, that's it. And they send an email or a text message, and that's it.
So it sounds like it's just you guys are so busy trying to deliver for the actual patients that sometimes a lot of these leads fall through, and it just sounds like you're wasting some money on what you're paying for, and you don't end up actually getting to these people. Is that about right?
Yes.
Okay, it makes sense. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, like, you've probably talked to a few other companies, done your research and everything like that, right? Well, what's prevented you from kind of going with one of those companies?
They didn't make any sense to me. One of the things that, you know, before I, you know, go along with an endeavor or any business decision, it has to make sense to me.
Like, what do you mean by make sense? Like,
it has to make sense. It has to be clear. There has to be clarity.
Okay. Clarity around what specifically? Just so I can understand, see if I can help you.
Clarity as in how the process is going to go. What am I? What is expected of me, of us, the company, and what you get? What I expect of you guys to deliver. How is the process going to work?
Got it. Okay. Makes sense.
Because some companies have they've said a lot of things that they will do, and in the end, I actually lost a lot of money.
Makes sense. And you know what? Like, one thing I'll do is, like, I'll take my hat off to, you know, actually still looking into other companies, right? Because a lot of people, they end up, you know, failing 1 time, 2 times, 3 times with a certain company, and then they just end up giving up, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. Everything that's been happening, you know, considering this has been, like, you know, last 2 years roughly been like a downstream, like, what's changed in the last like month or two to where you thought now might be kind of the time to make a change?
What changed is that I didn't want to see the company go down. I'm very, very passionate about ageless aesthetics. I'm very passionate about the business, and I know that it has a lot of potential. And I know with the right tools and with the right people, it will get to where it's supposed to be at.
Got it. Makes sense. So I mean, with, you know, you specifically, you know, what would be like the level of support you're looking for from like a marketing company to where you think this could be the thing for you? Like, what would you need from like an operational standpoint?
Okay, so for a marketing company, for the most part, I want to be able to reach them and talk to somebody about what's going on in the practice, right? Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because I hear it all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, we hear that problem.
It's about, okay, there's something about setting up a platform and telling me this is how it's going to work. And then I don't hear from anybody else. And then when I try to reach out, they tell me to send in a ticket. A ticket is not going to do anything. And then they reach me maybe 2 weeks later. It can be frustrating. And then when I...
Just for some context, guys, this is your competition. You know, like, there's agencies literally like with a ticket system. Oh, you need support. You can't reach us only through an email, you know, like a help at whatever domain. Like, this competition is honestly ridiculous. And that's probably why Jacob's laughing. Because, like, guys, this whole marketing agency, AI agency, competitors are very, very, very low level, at least majority of them. And like when she sees a company like us, and I'm sure with what Jacob's going to explain, our service and everything like that, it's almost like a whole new world she hasn't heard before.
Get back to when somebody finally, if I reach somebody or get an answer, my contact person is not there anymore. So I have to start all over again. So it's disquieting.
Okay, got it. So for you, it would be making sure, the leads are actually there, that the people know who you are, and then having those systems in place where we can call up those leads for you, make sure they actually know who you are before you speak to them, and actually having, 24/7 communication with you to where you can contact us for anything, right? Okay, so really quick, do you have a pen and paper with you?
I do.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to share my screen. Just while I share my screen, really quick, just write down for me you're going to write the number 1, the number 2, and the number 3. Just leave a little bit of space between all of those, okay? And I'm just going to pull this guy up really quick. 1 second.
Big tactic. Get them to write things down. Generally sticks in their head a lot easier.
So under 1, I want you to write down lead generation. Under 2, I want you to write down qualification. And then under 3, I want you to write down sales. You got all that written down?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to share this right now. Just let me know once you can see this. 1 second. Under pillar 1, so the main thing is, with you guys are using the Google ads and, you're doing a little bit of marketing on Facebook and stuff along those lines. Now, what we're going to do is we're mainly going to target Facebook, because Facebook is going to let us get a very broad group of people. And the way Facebook works now is they automatically know who to target based off of the words you put out there. So if you're, specifically a med spa and you're putting out, ads that are very specific to that, Facebook automatically knows who to target. So what we're going to do is we're going to create and script these ads. They're going to be video style ads, not just pictures, because we want people to be engaged in these videos. And what we're going to do is we're going to film 40 to 60 of these ads every single month to be put out. We're going to use humans, and we're going to use a little bit of AI in there as well.
Yeah.
And then pillar 2. So what we do is we have our call center. So what our call center is going to do is once they go through the funnel where they go through the education and learning more about your service and specifically why it can work for them, what the appointment setters are going to do is they're going to call the people right away as soon as they put in their information. You're going to have direct access to his number, and then one-on-one Slack channel for communications any time of the day, as well as me if you need me. And then weekly video updates, as well as bi-weekly update calls where we go deeper into strategy, making changes, and making sure everything's optimized for the amount of people that come in. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And what kind of questions are coming up for you about the program itself?
I've heard a lot of companies that promise heaven on earth, and then when it comes to the nitty gritty, I already told you. But I'm not saying I'm not generalizing. People that companies are different, and
I mean, when it comes to the investments itself, we have a few options, kind of the way we go about it. Like for you, in terms of what you're comfortable with investing, right? Because obviously it'll be broken down over the 3 months and stuff like that. For you specifically, what do you kind of have in cash on hand or credit available where it's like, okay, if I'm putting this much down, I'm comfortable making that kind of jump? Yeah, like what do you have to where it's like, okay, I can invest in myself getting to 100?
If you break it down for me, I really cannot say. But let's say if I have options, and whichever option that I'm comfortable with, I can say, okay, I'm comfortable with this option A or B.
If we were to, if we were able to break it down over 12 months for you, would that make it more manageable?
Yeah, that would make it more manageable.
For context, guys, financing is something we do probably for about 20% of my clients. Like, this isn't something we do for everyone, just because it's honestly, we get feed 15% ish, sometimes more. And it's just, again, it's money out of my pocket that I would get for the clients for this full work. So I really try to steer away from doing financing, but I will say it's a great thing for agencies if you're trying to get clients in through the door and you have available options. It's really, really good. And that's why I connect a lot of people that are in my network or learn from me directly with financing partners, because it can absolutely help you a ton when it comes to just getting clients in that just don't have all the money up front.
Is that something you want to do?
But remember, you're still going to be paying monthly after the 90 days.
After the 90 days. But again, most people don't come to us with the full amount out of pocket, right? The way we kind of frame it and the reason we have these financing options is it's for the people who are committed to making that change, but aren't fully able to do it right now. And most people, once they get their first, 20, 30, 40,000 in revenue coming in off of the system, they'll end up paying off early because there's no early payoff penalties, right? That makes more sense, right?
So, it makes more sense, yeah.
Yeah, that's what most people do. And we can help you out with that. Is that something you want to look at?
The numbers, if you can send me the details and look.
I mean, it's not really a sending details thing. It's more so like they see to like make sure you can get approved. And then once you're approved, they let you know what the rate is. So it roughly the way it would work is it would be the 5,000, and then you can break down the 10,000 over 12 months, which would be 833 plus a little interest. It works out to about $920 a month, roughly.
Yeah, but then if it's 900, you still have the 2,000 you pay monthly, right?
That's
So that's
after 90 days, right? That's not right away.
okay. I
That's
see what
after
you
the 90
mean.
days.
Okay, I see.
So the 15,000 covers the first 90 days, and then after that, after the 90 days, you pay 2,000. Yeah, does that all make sense? So yeah, it would be 5,000, and then your first payment on that 10,000, payment plan would be a month after. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Is that something you want to do? Like, where do you want to go from here?
Like I said, can I sleep over it?
You sleep over it?
Yeah.
Well, what's
I
fine?
was
Here we go with objections. So let's see how these are handled. I think it's probably what you guys have been wanting to see.
sleep over. Yeah, I will sleep over it, and then we can revert back on Monday.
All right. Here's the
Yes.
thing. Look, I'm not trying to force you into anything. That I'm coming from a place of love, right? Because we don't need the business. We make a good amount of money. I'm just. It's more so from the perspective of the same thought process that makes us put off a decision for 1 or 2 days is the same thought process that makes us put off decisions for 6 months, 12 months, or even another 2 years, right? Like, say you were to put
Yes.
this off for another 6 months, or 12 months, or 24 months. What happens to the business then?
I know what you mean.
You know what you
I
mean?
know what you mean. But yeah, but like I said, I have to look at some options. I mean, in my head and in my finances.
Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you out. Like, in terms of, what would be like that safe number for you? Like, if you could, start with 833 a month rather than paying the full amount up front, would that be easier for you to where you can do 833 a month?
You said 833.
Yeah, 833 a month. So you would break down the 10,000, and then after 60 days, once we generate you results, then you can pay the last 5,000.
Did you say 833?
Yeah,
800.
833 a month, because you can take the 10,000, right? The one we can get you with our internal financing partners, right? And they don't hit your credit score or anything. They just look at your business to see, previous income, how long you have been open, and then they would approve you within 20 seconds. And then if you're
Okay.
approved, you pay 833, 900 a month with the interest and everything for 12 months. You can pay that off early. And then once day 60 comes around, you can pay the additional 5,000.
Okay, we can do that.
Does that work?
Hmm.
Okay, here, I'll get this.
Boom. So what's funny about this client, and I'm gonna say this just to kind of spoil it a little bit. I think the next little bit was spent going through the financing platforms. I think we have two that we use. So I think Jacob had to go through two. I think the second one worked. I'll kind of show it so you guys can see it. But she literally the way we structure this deal is, okay, it's a $15,000 deal, but you don't pay the other 5,000 until in 60 days from now, essentially. So you don't pay it for another 2 months. So on the start of the third month of our program, you'll pay the rest. And we literally, on the onboarding call with her, my client success manager upsold her on $5,000 worth of SEO and website, because I have upsells for absolutely everything, because however we can upsell clients that come in that are new, the easiest people to sell to are people that have already bought from you. That's like very well known. Most business owners know that. So we treat these onboarding calls as sales calls, which is something I don't talk too much about on YouTube. But it's a huge strategy. And she paid another $5,000 for separate things, literally in cash, on the onboarding call. So it's always a little bit of stress and fear from the sales call just initially that people get. But we'll kind of go through. I guess I'll show you guys what this looks like.
Yeah, today's Friday evening, and my husband is looking at me like, "What are you doing?"
Tell your husband you're here to get your business back to 100,000. It's okay. It only takes 5 minutes to get done. Here, just 1 second. It only takes 5
And
minutes.
then when that happens, what happens?
What happens then is, once you get approved, I'll get you onboarded. I'll get you in direct contact with Skylar. Skylar's going to be the person to take you through onboarding, and then Carson and Peter are going to be there as well. They're the people who buy all the ads and manage the actual media itself, and they work on the operations. I'm going to put you in a group chat with them, and then we're going to book in a call for tomorrow or day after tomorrow where we can do our
No,
onboarding call.
it's weekend. It's Super Bowl.
Okay, then let's do it on Monday. So if you open this link on Zoom, this one right here, I'm going to send it over, and then I'll guide you through how to actually get that done. And there you go. You should be able to click it now.
Here's her getting the application, and she is right here, I believe. Yep.
Awesome.
What?
There she goes. So she got approved. So that was pretty much the entire sales call. The rest of it was really just kind of her getting into everything and getting onboarded. We scheduled the onboarding call literally within, I believe it was the next Monday, because it was a weekend and she was watching the Super Bowl and stuff. But overall, that's kind of the entire call as a whole. You guys kind of understand it. Probably had to blur out some few things throughout this call, just for privacy's sake and whatnot. But that is kind of how a raw sales call looks. Okay, so this is a $15,000 deal. Ended up technically being $20,000 once we had the onboarding call and upsold her on a few things. Yeah, guys, that's kind of a lot of objection handling I think you guys probably saw there, and hopefully this was insightful for you guys to watch. because this is kind of like a raw live sales call instead of my agency today, and this is kind of how it all looks. So yeah, guys, that being said, that's kind of it for this video. Hopefully this all made sense. And if you want to learn directly one-on-one from me, I have a mentorship. You guys probably know this. Top link in the description below, but essentially you get access to not only like the financing options and stuff I'm showing you guys inside here. I give it to everyone inside my mastermind, which is kind of like my mentorship group. I've got calls almost every single day of the week where I help out, jump on Q&As, everything like that. You essentially get my phone number, all of the snapshots, the resources, the scripts, the templates, the sales call recordings. Like, this is just one of them. I've done one more on my channel, but I have dozens more inside of my mastermind. That link will be in the top link in the description below. And of course, you know, you guys can follow my Instagram, like, subscribe, check out my other videos on my channel as well. And I'll see you guys inside the next video. Peace.